Hey guys, how are you? Today is Sunday, January. I think I did that in a vlog. June 25th, 2017, and I'm here with an update. I know it's been a bit. I don't think I've done an actual face-to-face update since the beginning of Mania, or I guess right before Mania started. Flosstube itchy nose, of course. Anyway, I just had a really busy May and end of June. I know we're like more than halfway done with June now, but I just didn't get a chance, and I've been having some headaches. So the couple days that I was gonna do the video, I had a headache that day, so no stitching, no video. But here I am, guys, and I look forward to doing some more videos this summer before school starts up again. I'm gonna be really busy in the coming year. Anyway, yeah, I will try and get more in there. We'll see. I do have some professional development I'm going to, yeah. Pardon that. By the way, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but every once in a while you'll hear some water. That's our AC unit. We have an AC guy coming out on Tuesday. Clearly it needs something, so right now there's a container catching water every so often. So if you do hear it, please excuse that. Anyway, so end of school, you think you'd be winding down, but you're really not as a student, not as a teacher. So much stuff is happening at the end of the school year. Pardon me. Things are wrapping up, you're wrapping up grades. Depending on the classes, you might be giving a final test or a final exam. Things are going on after school. End of year dance, awards night, all that kind of stuff is going on. So yeah, and of course the final closeout for the teachers and all that. Now, one thing, I don't know if I mentioned this on Flosstube, I believe I haven't, but I did mention it on Facebook at one point. I have been teaching in middle school really like all my teaching career, and I'll be moving to elementary school this coming year, so I'm going to be teaching 4th grade. I'm really excited. I was ready for the change. I wanted to work with a different age level. I wanted to work closer to home because I was driving quite the distance to get to work, so I wanted something closer. And I'm so excited because the school I'm going to be at is departmentalized, which means that I will only be teaching math and science, which is what I do. I am certified K through 12, but my certifications are elementary, which is K through 6, math, I'm certified 6 through 12, and middle grade science, so science 5 through 9. So I could really teach anything, and I do have my master's degree, which means I could at least adjunct at a college, which is something I'd like to try to do, but we'll see when that happens. So yeah, I'm excited to try it out. I mean, if it's something that I feel isn't me, I could always move to high school, whatever, but I'm really excited. I student taught in elementary and I really enjoyed it, so I'm really looking forward to it. And it's 4th grade, so they're not going to be tiny kids. I won't be making a huge jump where I'm going to feel like overwhelmed. I mean, I could do it. I'm sure I could, but it would be a big change. Anyway, so what does that mean? That means that I don't get to just put stuff away in the closet. That means I had to unpack my entire classroom, all my things, which if you're a teacher, you know. I've been teaching only for 4 years, which is a decent chunk of time, I would say. But as far as like the length of a career, that's not like super long, right? I have so much stuff. So much stuff. I took my car, filled it to the brim. The next day I took my husband's car and filled that to the brim. If we only had one vehicle, I would have had to rent like a van or something at least, or a mini moving truck, I don't know. And that's just 4 years. Right now it's sitting in our middle bedroom, just kind of hanging out. And I still have some stuff to unpack for my car. Yes, I've been driving around half a classroom around because I just have not unpacked some of that stuff. A lot of the stuff in my in my car right now is my classroom library, which is 3 crates big. And I just don't want to take that out on my own. So whenever my husband has some free time, he'll take that out. Plus some other things, which I guess are lighter. So anyway, that just took a lot of energy. So I didn't get a video done. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Taking down a classroom, moving a classroom, putting it in, putting in the cars, putting it in my house, and going to some professional development. So some classes, some different ideas from some other lessons. I went to an Everglades literacy one, which is really cool. They talked about different lessons that I could incorporate into my class that talked about the Everglades and educated the kids about the Everglades. You'd think, the Everglades is really right in our backyard, and some of the kids don't really know that and don't get that. So it was one of the best workshops I've been to. The trainers were cool. You could tell they were into it. It was great. I have another couple coming up. I have one on Canvas for doing like material online and all sorts of different stuff. I haven't used Canvas as a teacher. I used it myself as a student in college. But I don't know, it's going to be interesting learning from the other side, like setting stuff up, setting polls up, setting discussions up, and also modifying that for elementary. Like I specifically signed up for one for how to gear this toward, yes, an older student in elementary, but still an elementary student. So that is going to be very interesting, and one about like interactive classroom activities. So I'm really looking forward to that one as well. But enough about me for right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into some stitching, which is really what you're here for. So the very first thing I have to show you is not actually mine. So my wonderful spouse, my partner in crime, stitches every once in a while. So Mike has stitched one item, a little tiny Yoda head, and he said, if I find something cool, like I'll stitch it, why not? I'm like, really? Okay. I introduced him to Etsy, and he found this guy, Rebel Scum and Proud. So I told him, are you sure that is a lot of solid red? But he wanted it. So honestly, he takes this out like every 4 months and put in 20 stitches, and he's good. But I figured, why not? Let me show you what he did. So yeah, this is his progress. Last time, I think I showed this once before, he had the B-E-L and the M, or most of the M. So he finished the M and he added most of the U. That's it. And he's got his needle. Can tell he does not use a needle minder, and a hanging thread. So we'll see if I can convince him to take this back out and stitch with me. He does like it, but he's a gamer and he spends a lot of his time gaming or coding. So this doesn't get, doesn't see the light of day a lot. But when it does, it's kind of fun, and it's something that it's cool that he shares with me. So I figured I would show you that. So people, encourage your significant others to stitch, even if it's just every once in a while. They might get into it. You never know. Maybe you'll create a monster. I don't know. I'm trying to see where to set this down here. Pardon my reach. So that's that. The next thing I have to show you is my completed, well, almost completed, because I thought I was completed and I noticed I missed something. He's making a lot of noise in the office. I apologize. My completed quotes to live by. I think he's coming downstairs. Give me a second. Okay. He did his thing in the kitchen. I don't think you wanted to see husband and dogs trailing behind and going back up. That's what that was. Anyway, that looks weird. No, it doesn't. It looks fine. All right, so I was about to show you my finished quotes to live by. So here it is. By the way, this is what my scroll frame looks like right now. This, I had this. I didn't actually buy this. I got it from somebody who was getting rid of it, and I just paid for the shipping bit of it. And I added my own dowel rods, and I stapled some fabric on, and I basted my fabric on. Now these dowels, these are the full-length dowels. This is 36 inches across. Normally I would cut it down so this side is not so massive, but I wanted to have some full-size set of dowel rods, and when I went to put this this one together, because once you base it on, you know, the project's on there until you either want to take it off, if it's just not going to be worked on for a while, or it just stays on there and you get new ones. I mean, they're just a couple dollars, so it's really cheap to make this. But yeah, so anyway, what I was saying is, like, I wanted to have a full set of, like, a set of the full-length dowel rod in case I have a really big project I wanted to stitch. And I didn't have any other ones when I went to make this one, so I'm like, whatever, I'll just use these. I don't have a big project right now that I want to make anyway, and I'll just, you know, it'll be fine. I'll just have a lot of it hanging out, which anyways, that's why it looks so big. So here is, I'm holding that upside down. Good job. There is my completed May. Almost completed. I realized I did not put Audrey Hepburn down here, so I need to do that. But yeah, so darn it, I have no idea what the floss color is. I'll insert it, not all the floss colors, but at least the variegated. I'll put it like right here-ish when I'm editing the video. But what I do is I pick the variegated and I make the other colors work around it, so either it matches some of the color in it or complements it really well. So yeah, that is it. I was gonna catch up in June. In fact, when I put up my vlog, though it'll be after this, but because the vlog is from like June 1st till the end of June, it'll technically be before this, like it happened a few days ago, but when I put it up, you've already seen this video most likely. I mentioned that I wanted to catch up and then do July, and then I was thinking about not doing it, or not doing June until July comes out because of some ideas of the color I had, and then I'm like, you know, no, I'm not gonna do that because I wanna stay caught up. Well, I changed my mind again. I might change my mind, but there isn't that many days left in June, so maybe not. But I think July is going to be on this side. Now, if it's not, it might throw off my plans and I might just go ahead and stitch it in the original color I planned. But the variegated floss I have in mind, I really want to use, but I'm not sure if it would work better over on this side or on this side here. So I'm thinking June is already here above this one, so I'm hoping July is here. And then when that comes out, I'll just stitch both of them in July, because I don't want to fall behind. I really do want to stay caught up, but because I see that floss color at the top of the project, but I'm not sure if it's going to end up looking better on top of May's quote or April's quote. So when it comes out, as soon as July comes out, I'll totally start the June, because I already have the colors picked out. If it works better with July, then I'll pick something on this side that's different. If July I see something else, then I could pick it on this side. I could go with a variegated red, white, and blue since I do live in the US, but I don't know. I might not, just because, you know, because July and July 4th, which is a kind of cute idea, but not everything about July needs to be July 4th. So we'll see. I might not. That was just a random thought I had just now, but anyway, my point is the variegated, I want to do it at the top of the project, but I don't know if I want to do it on this side or this side. So we'll see when it comes out and I'll go from there. But yeah, so that's what it looks like as of now. I also have an extra quote in there technically. Let me see if I can. Do you see that? I think that's zoomed. It says, "Believe in yourself." That's kind of like a personal fun moment. So as I mentioned, I'm a big dork. My husband and I are geeks. We're always going to be nerdy, geeky, liking things that people consider like a young people thing. But yeah, so one of the things we like is anime. He watches a lot more than I do. I tend to rewatch the ones that I like and really go finding new ones, though I really do want to get some new ones just to have more. But my all-time favorite, which I think for a lot of young girls around my age, and maybe a lot of young girls now since there's a remake, is, you guessed it, Sailor Moon. Love Sailor Moon. Love Sailor Moon. I actually first watched Sailor Moon in Spanish. Had no idea it was anime. Watched it again here when it was airing on Toonami. No idea it was anime. But in high school when I got into anime, I'm like, oh my gosh, Sailor Moon was an anime all along. So yeah, so one of the things about original Sailor Moon, 90s anime Sailor Moon, not the manga, because the manga did have quite a different take on a lot of bits of the story. If you didn't know, the Sailor Moon manga was being written at the same time that the Sailor Moon anime was airing. So the reason the anime is so huge and has a lot of filler, which kind of can be really annoying and pointless sometimes. I'm sorry, 90s Sailor Moon is my least favorite version of Sailor Moon. Does not mean I don't like it, but I just think the manga and Crystal are better. But and also live action there is a live action Sailor Moon. It is real. It's not like a fan thing. It's really, really cheesy. The effects are ridiculous. The Yoma, the monsters, are ridiculous. But if you can get past that, the story is fabulous. It's so good, so good, so good. There is only one little bit which I don't particularly like. But anyway, I'm digressing. Anyway, so in the classic anime, as they call it, Tuxedo Mask, Tuxedo Kamen, Darien, if you watch the original dub, the Deke dub, which, if you did not know, Sailor Moon was originally dubbed by Deke in Canada, and they changed the names around because I guess they thought it would go better. They also censored a lot of things. Anyway, if you watch the original Deke dub, Darien, if you watch the Japanese, read the anime, read the manga, or watched it in Japanese, or you're watching the new Viz dub, Mamoru, as Tuxedo Mask, didn't do anything in the original, in the classic, and he just didn't do anything. He just showed up, gave an inspirational speech, threw a rose, and called it a day. He is so much cooler in the manga and in Crystal. So much. Oh, and there's also musicals. He's pretty cool in the musicals as well. Yes, there are Sailor Moon musicals. That is a thing. Some of them are also very silly. Some of them are awesome. Anyway, so I listened to this podcast, and they mentioned this, and it's basically, so they kind of dub it his believe in yourself speech is like, that's his role in all the episodes. He shows up and he comes up, believe in yourself, Sailor Moon, and calls it a day. So I look at that and it says, believe in yourself, and I just think of Tuxedo Mask jumping in, believe in yourself, you can stitch this, jumps back out. He is so much cooler than that, though. It's kind of sad that that's what they made him into. They also made him a college student. Usagi, Sailor Moon, Serena, if you watch the other dub, she's 14 years old. She's a child. She's really a child. I mean, you kind of get past that because of the storyline. He was not a college student, and he's 16, she's 14, which can still be considered a little bit creepy, but you would understand, especially, I mean, their love expands across time and space, so, you know, they're reincarnations of anyway, I have no idea what they did that. I mean, they censored all this stuff. They took, well, technically that was done by the original Japanese creators. I don't get it. You already have a somewhat odd relationship because he's 16 and she's 14. Why on earth would you make him a college student? Like, I don't understand. Like, that's creepy. That's just wrong. College students do not need to be dating 14-year-olds. Even if their love, sorry, my alarm was going off for something. Even if their love transcends time and space, that's weird. Anyway, another thing. So yeah, I have Tuxedo Mask in my mind when I'm stitching this because he's telling me, believe in yourself. Yeah. All right, moving on, you guys. By the way, as I mentioned, since this is coming off, I probably will be putting another project on here. And yeah, anyway, moving on to the next bit of the video. All right, I have a couple stashy things to show you. I didn't leave it for the end just because it's literally like 2 things. So it's gonna be really quick. One is a magazine. This is the Cross Stitch Crazy magazine. August 2017. I know. It's June right now, so this is way far ahead. I ordered this from eBay just because I really wanted the freebie that came with it. I know, that's so lame. There's some cute patterns in here. So this is what it looks like. You can see this bunny at the front, which is actually pretty cute. I don't know. These strings, which I kind of really like. I kind of want to stitch those. I know they're kind of tiny here, but that's really cute. This I love. This Paris thing, I really like that. But one of the things that actually caught my eye was the freebie. The freebie is awesome. Normally you get either a little kit or some threads or a pattern. I got a little summer chart book by Emma Cogden. There's 50 charts. Now they're small, but there's 50. I love Stitchrovia. Like literally I have favorited her entire Etsy shop. Like not just the shop, like individually most of the patterns, if maybe not all, but really like I started favoriting them, and I'm like, you know, I favorited at least 2/3 of her shop by now. Let me just favorite the shop. So yeah, this is what the freebie looks like. I can't show you all the charts because they are patterns, but I'll show you some of them. So you've got that one, my soul is fed with needle and thread, be creative every day. What does it say? Time to drink champagne and dance on the table. Have a wonderful day. There's actually all the ones that are on the cover, but these pictures are a little bit bigger, so why not? For my beautiful friend, and if friends were flowers, I'd pick you. My beautiful friend one, if friends were flowers. Love the life you live and be a flamingo in a flock of pigeons. And there are 50, so there's a lot of really cute ones. Some are just like a little square, some a little bit bigger. Yeah, love the life you live is one of them. Follow your dreams, positive vibes, enjoy the journey. Every day is a new beginning. I could go with more, but you get the idea. This caught my attention. I really liked it. But as a plus side, the magazine has some pretty cute things. There's also some tiny little mermaids, which are cute, but I like the more realistic mermaids. But hey, mermaids are mermaids, so you can see here it's like little cartoony ones. But still cute, maybe for like a gift tag or something. So that's the one thing I wanted to show you as far as something I bought. I'm trying to see where I can put this down. I put it down right here. And the last thing I got is another of the double-sided containers. And yes, I did take a moment to scratch my nose there. So I have one of these already for my DMC set. The full set does fit on there, but I got a second one for like my specialty threads that aren't like pre-cut lengths, or my Mosaic silks. Those I just keep in a baggie. But basically I did one side of variegated. So this is Daughtery on this side. In the middle I've got Mosaic cottons. I've got a little bit of the Iris line, which is basically the bags that they sell either at Walmart or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. They're kind of like a generic brand. They're not that great, like the quality, but in all honesty, it's workable. You can work with it. And the variegated, like for solids, I wouldn't get them unless there was a really unique color, but the variegated had some really nice stuff. So I have that in there. And I also have my DMC variegateds on this end. And on this side, I've got the DMC satins and the DMC light effects. I'm not sure what I would put on this side, but it's there for other threads I would want to bobbinate. So I got another one of those. So those are my two purchases, stash enhancement, whatever you want to call it. And my hair is going poof-alicious because that's what curly hair does. All right, now I'm going to move on to the section which is basically my Mania wrap-up video. Trying to think if I have any other stitching. I might have a thing or two in there that wasn't quite Mania, but mostly it's going to be my Mania wrap-up. So anything that's a mermaid that I'm about to show you is something I worked on for Mania. Other than that, it was either stuff that I sprinkled in throughout June, just if I needed to work on something smaller because I was getting tired of the, you know, the fabric, high count and all that, or if I just wanted to stitch in something small, or I wanted to stitch in bed, or whatever. Like, I have a couple little things, actually just one little thing, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That'll be my stitching. So yeah, let's move on to that. All right, so the very first week of Mania, oh, in case you didn't know, my Mania plans were not to start one thing every day for the first 15 days, or every day every other day, or every day for the whole, no. I just worked on 5 patterns. I'm not really feeling the multiple starts or multiple whips, so I'm like, let me do something that's manic for me. And that was working on 5 different mermaids in 1 month. So that worked for me. I started them ideally every Monday. There were some changes. I don't remember exactly which day I started what. I'll go in week order, since 5 weeks, 5 days, or yeah, 5 weeks, 5 start dates, 5 mermaids. If you want a little bit more detail, I do have my vlogs. I'm doing those monthly now, so you can see like my day-to-day progress and like what my thought is, like right on the spot. Sometimes I'll mention some of the stuff in the vlog and in my update video, but sometimes it's not on my mind, I'm not thinking about it, whatever. But yeah, so the first one I worked on was a whip already, and she is Sunrise Laguna Mermaid by Nora Corbett. So this is one of her smaller patterns. I don't really have any before pictures. I need to do a better job of that. If you'd like to see progression pics of how this went throughout the days I worked on it, you can check out my Instagram. I post a lot on there as well, and you would see it, you know, before I had my vlog up. So my Instagram is linked on my main channel. I have the actual like if you click on the Instagram icon on my main page, it'll take you right to it. If I remember, I will insert a link, or I'll just let you know the name. In fact, I'll write the name probably right here. This will be a reminder that when I'm editing, I'll put my Instagram name here. But anyway, so when I started working on her, there was already progress. This is where she is right now. I am so pleased with her. The mermaid herself is done, except for her hair. There is some teal bits that go in between and some beads. I need to get to that, but all her skin is done. Her tail is entirely done. Her hair is almost done, except for beads. I started working on some of the flowers in the background, and I've got some of the border done. Got a little bit more of green stitching, but it's just like 5 rows, so I didn't want to take her out of the queue stuff because I'll probably be working on her sometime soon. So yeah, anyway, so I'm excited. She is one of my goals to be done this year. Obviously that's quite feasible. I need to just get her out at one point and work on her again. I've mentioned this before, but I made a couple changes. One of the flosses, this light color floss was a very light blue. I don't know why, because I didn't think it worked with it, so I changed it to a light yellowy cream. Her hair is supposed to be 3371, which is a gray. I did it a sort of greenish seaweedy color, and this is supposed to be a solid, I think it's DMC 153, but because of the fabric I chose, it was a light purple. It kind of like, it's not that it blended, because this is clearly not purple fabric, but it kind of disappeared. So I went with Weeks Dye Works Lilac. It's a slight variegation, but you can definitely see it. And it pops a lot. It looks more like what the picture looked like. I guess if I did it on a different color fabric, you would see it. And I don't have a picture, but I will insert a picture before like I switch over of what the final product is going to look like. But this is where mine is now, and I hope to have her done this year. So I'll go ahead and insert, you know what? This is what I'll do. I'll insert a slideshow of what all the mermaids are going to look like completed, like at the very end of the video. Or maybe before I talk, because I have two other projects I want to talk about that aren't mermaids. So when I finish talking about all the mermaids, I'll insert all the pictures of what the mermaids are going to look like complete. Kind of, since I'm doing a little color converting on some, but the general picture of what they'll be done, and then I'll move on to the very, very last bit. But yeah, so that was week 1 / some extra progress, because I worked on her some weekends, and also I've taken her to Stitchy Night on Tuesdays at least a couple times. So I've gotten quite a bit done on her. All right, this was actually week 3, I believe, but because I have it right in front of me and the others are together in a different spot, I'll just show you her companion, Moonlight Laguna Mermaid. So this is what Moonlight Laguna Mermaid looks like. So I did get all the main green color in her tail done, and that was basically it. I did start on her a little bit late because the mermaid I was working on in week 2, I didn't work on very much in week 2. I had stuff going on, I didn't feel good one day, so I stitched on that mermaid like twice. So since she's smaller, not necessarily simpler, but just smaller, I figured let me carry my week 2 project into week 3 so that I get a little bit more time. But I also worked at the same time on this one, and I got that much done. So I thought it was pretty decent progress from not working on her that much. So yeah, that is Moonlight Laguna Mermaid. Oh, and the fabric on this one, I can't tell you the fabric on the other one because I don't know the name, but this is 28 count jazz linen by Picture This Plus. So there's that one. All right, the last 3 weeks of my Mirabilia Mermaid Mania Madness, did I get all that? I think that was my full title. I worked on were large Mirabilias. 1 was a whip and 2 were starts. And because they are on dowel rods, which go on my scroll frame, I have them in this highly advanced, super technological, handy dandy pillowcase. If I could sew, I'd make myself a cool bag for my dowel rods. I cannot. I mean, I guess I could sew by hand. I don't know what kind of quality it would have. But anyway, they do fit in a pillowcase, and they fit like I can actually close it. So yeah, I keep my dowel rods that aren't in use in here. The 36-inch one would not fit, so I'd have to figure out what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll just stick it in here, and I think at least up to the length of where the project is would be in the bag. But yeah, so that's where I keep my dowel rods, just so the fabric doesn't get dirty. So let me pick out in order. So the very first large Mirabilia I worked on, which technically was my week 2, but also became my week 3 because I worked on it during week 3 as well, is Mermaid of Atlantis. I'm doing this lovely lady mermaid on 32 count linen in Flotsam and Jetsam by Chromatic Alchemy. So I've already unrolled her a bit, but this is what she looks like right now. So you can see, just so you can see real quick, this is basted on, again, I staple the Ada on with just a very inexpensive staple gun. It's a lightweight, light duty staple gun. I got it at Michael's. It's like $9. If you use a coupon, you can get it for like $6 or even $5, depending on the coupon you have. Yeah, so, and then I just baste the fabric on, which is basically just, you bring the needle up, you go a length, you bring it down, and you just do a straight across. So that's what that looks like. And then you can easily roll it to where you're working on. As you saw with my other project, I get about this much stitching space, which is pretty decent. So yeah, so I got some of her skin done, which I am doing 1/1. It hasn't been that terrible to work on the dark fabric. I thought it would be, but it's really not. Then I've got a lot of her tail done up to here. I'm probably going to work on her because I'm really excited. Now I want to find a way to maybe, because you can see it's still a little bit crinkly even though I roll this up because of the way the pillowcase sits. I need to get somewhere where it can stand. Maybe like, I was thinking one of those umbrella buckets that people put in by their front doors. And then also after I roll it up, it goes like this, kind of like a scroll, like an antique scroll. Maybe get like even just a ribbon and wrap it, so if it stays like this, then it won't get those crinkles. Because part of the great thing about scroll frames is that when you start, there's no folding of your fabric. so there's no creases to worry about. Obviously that hasn't entirely been the case, but I'm still experimenting and learning, so yeah, so I'll have to get that. But I love her so far. She pops on the fabric. She's so beautiful. I can't wait to pick her up again. I want to get her done this year. I think I'm going to stitch her as charted. Like, I'm definitely not changing any of the colors, but I've seen some really neat things done with the border and the charms and stuff. But I don't know. I think I might just go with everything as charted. So who knows? And I definitely want her done this year. And just one last time, this is how much I've got done of her. So that is it. That is my Alana, Mermaid of Atlantis. I try to name all my mermaids just for fun, I guess. Oh, you can kind of see me, sorry. But yeah, I like to name them just for fun. And I really enjoy stitching on her and all the mermaids. Now this dowel rod was my very first time. This is definitely not enough space. Extra space, you definitely want the bars a little bit longer because this just stick out a tiny little bit, but it's already on here, so that's why I haven't taken it off. You'll see in my other projects I left more room, and if I were to redo these, then I would take her off and put her on new dowel rods. But I should be getting my Omanix soon, my quantum frame, so maybe I'll take her off these bars and put her on that, and then just save these for a smaller project, something that's a little bit, you know, smaller across. Can be long, it could be as long as you'd like because you just roll it up, but the width has to be, you know, it really should only like maybe go up to my finger, so I have the extra space to not only go in the spot, because like if you think about it, once it goes in the frame, it takes up like this much, so I only have a tiny bit of dowel rod left. You really want a little bit more so you can have some sort of a handle to really wrap and unwrap. But that is Mermaid of Atlantis. So the next week I worked on Bluebeard's Princess Mirabella. And I do love the project, but I saw a beautiful conversion online. The very first time I saw it, I fell in love with it. I wanted to do it so bad. And so I am. I do like the original colors, but I think I mentioned this before. I want to stitch many mermaids. Just Mirabilia alone has about 17 to 20 mermaids, and she just came out with the Renaissance Mermaid, which looks gorgeous. I thought about converting her, but I really do like her colors, even though most of the mermaids are blue or green or teal, and this one's like a bluish aqua color. Like it's got aqua, but the main color like is blue. It just looks so pretty. I think I might just stitch it with the colors are charted and maybe convert a different one. I don't know. Anyway, tons of mermaids, tons of patterns. Because of that, I'm okay with doing conversions. Whether I try it myself or find a conversion I really like, just to make it a little bit different. Because so many of the mermaids have the same color scheme. It's nice to do something a little bit different, especially if I'm going to eventually have all these mermaids up on my wall somewhere. There needs to be like variation. And right now, while they're all beautiful and the pattern itself and the mermaid itself is different, the colors, there's not that much variation in the colors. So it's nice to have that. And this is an example of that. So this is Bluebeard's Princess Mirabella. Again, when I put the little slideshow of the finished product, you will see the original colors, of course. Maybe I'll throw in the picture of the conversion instead, because the conversion is, you know, there is a picture of the conversion. So I'll put that up so you can see it. But yeah, so here is a better example of how much you need. You could probably get away with making it like this much, but I just wanted to be extra safe. So again, the scroll frame bit takes up this much room, so now I can really use my hands to like really make it tight or not. Now, this gave me a lot of trouble because these rods, they say on here, oh, this isn't the label with the size on it. Okay, I think that's not on here, but it said it's 3/4 of an inch, which is what my original dowel rods were. These have got to be a little bit smaller. They've just got to be, because this kept slipping and sliding a lot. I managed to get it tight, but it's not as tight as the other one, so it's just like a hair thinner, but it's enough to like for the tension to loosen relatively quickly, which is a bit of a bummer, but I don't mind. So yeah. So anyway, let me show you where I got to her, which by the way, this fabric is a 28 count Opal Lugana by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So is that it's upside down. So this is as far as I got on her. I got the top part of the tail done and some of the bit around the curve of the tail. So yeah, let me make sure you can see that. It's beautiful. I love it. I love the fabric. I love the colors. I love this conversion. I love it so much. Here, let me just do that so I know it's not going to be tight, but you can see it at least. So yeah. So you can see there I've got some DMC variegated and some Karen water lilies. That's my first ever Karen water lily, so I'm really excited about that, you guys. So I'm probably going to continue up and around the tail and go across. Also, her tail the tail part goes till about here, and then this is her torso. So I might also start doing some skin, because I am going to do the skin 1/1. All these mermaids are going to have skin 1/1. It's not something I'll probably do every single time. There'll be some patterns where I feel like I'll be able to get away with the skin 2/2, or I won't mind doing it 2/2. It's still going to look beautiful. If you're a 2/2 forever skin person, no judgment. Like, I just like it, but you can absolutely do 2/2 skin. It looks fine. I just like 1/1. I like experimenting with it. I think it's partially because it was a new thing and I really liked it and it looks so cool, but I can definitely see myself seeing some patterns where I'm like, you know what, it's gonna look just as beautiful, let me just go with 2/2 and it'll be fine. But this one, like, I've already decided on these. I wanted to do 2/2 skin, 1/1 skin, so yeah, but there we go. So I'm really excited to get back to her. I'm not sure when I will, because she's not a focus piece. I want to get Moonlight Laguna Mermaid, Sunrise Laguna Mermaid, and Mermaid of Atlantis done this year. And then I'll go ahead and work on the rest of them. I also want to start and continue some of the other mermaids. I think the next one is absolutely going to be the new one, the Renaissance Mermaid. She's beautiful and I really want to do her. I have to get the pattern, obviously. I have to get the beads. I'm not very big on getting bead packs, only because I have a lot of beads. Now, granted, I might not have any of the beads on her, but you never know, I might. So I wanted to just check it out. If I really don't have any of the beads, I might just go ahead and get it. But if I have, one or two of the beads, I think it's worth it to just get them separately. So I might just do that. But I definitely need to get the pattern or such, but I really don't want to do it until I finish one, even if it's one of the Nora Corbett's, probably Sunrise Laguna Mermaid. But when I finish one, I will purchase the next pattern, because it's just a rabbit hole, people. Like, purchasing all these patterns and we do that, stitchers do that. In fact, I think we've had this conversation on my LNS more than once, where it's like, we just want it and we want it right now. And we want it right away, and we don't even always want to buy online because we want it at our door, immediately, which doesn't happen, and we just want it to put it away. Not even to start it, to put it away in a drawer. I know that's not the case every time or for everybody, but we want it right now, right away, to put it away to stitch who knows when, or as Trisha will sometimes say, to stitch never. Anyway, whew, here, I digress. The last one. Sorry about that. I thought my battery was about to die, so a little bit of a repeat there. So the last one, for real, is Aphrodite Mermaid. Now, if you recall, this was actually not in my original plan. And then Adele was watching my video and she's like, I love it, but why no Aphrodite? So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll stitch it. She forced me, guys, I swear. No, I'm kidding. I just decided to do it. I'm really excited about this though, because I'm doing a conversion. But not a conversion like Bluebeard's Princess where somebody else came up with it. Oh no, this is my conversion. Now, it was inspired by Leslie's conversion, Leslie by Under the Sea Fabric, but it's not at all her conversion. I just saw it and I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that idea, but I want to take it this direction. So that's what I did. Now I have decided that I am going to still stitch her with no shell. In the original, there's a shell at the very bottom of the pattern. It's almost like she's coming out of the pattern, out of the shell, like she's blooming out of there. But it just doesn't work with the colors I chose. The original colors will just blend right into the fabric, and the colors I considered, I just don't think it's going to work. So I think I'm going to do her without the shell, which is fine with me. Now, the blues you're going to see on here, like the teal aqua blues, those are as charted. My conversion is blue and pink. So the main color, like the most prominent teal color, was originally black. I changed that to like a navy-ish royal blue. It's like, it really is a royal blue, but it kind of looks navy depending on the light. So we'll see how it looks on here, but it is more of a royal blue, kind of starting to get into the navy, but not quite. And the pink, of course, is all mine. So here she is. The fabric here is a 32 count Murano in Daybreak by Crafty Kitten. This was a gift from Adele. When I decided to stitch this pattern, I decided to stitch it on this fabric because, one, Adele kind of convinced me to start her, and Adele started her Aphrodite mermaid on fabric I sent her. So I just thought that was a cool little thing that we kind of could do together. And Jessie Marie also started Aphrodite Mermaid on the same day, which was May 29th. So it was kind of like a little mini stitch along. It was cool. Anyway, so here's where she's at. Again, the most prominent blue, that royal blue, okay, it does pick up royal blue. Sometimes when I photograph it, picks up navy, is my color. The blues like these here are... Here, let me see how I can do this best. That's the only thing about these dowel rods. It makes it hard to show. The blues on the inside are as charted, and all the pinks are mine. Also, the Krennic you see there, you can see it kind of shimmering a little bit, is a purple Krennic. It's amethyst. I don't remember the number, but I'll definitely include all the information when I'm done stitching her. I don't want to give the conversion out until I'm done because, as most people who do conversions, if I need to switch something out, if I need to rip a color out because it doesn't work, if I change my mind about something, you know, I want the conversion to be the conversion. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really happy with her. I love it. I love it so much. I can't wait to continue working on her. But again, she is not a priority this year, so I'm not sure exactly when I'll stitch her again. Actually, I do. If Adele takes her out before I decide to take her out again myself, I told her to let me know and I would stitch on her at the same time. So those were my mermaids from Mirabilia Mermaid Madness. I'm so excited about it. I'm super excited about my conversion, mainly because I'm really considering some designing. I have been mulling that over for a while. I have one pattern already, which I've technically designed. It's not a person at all, it's some fonts. I've talked about it before. And when I finish stitching it, I'm totally gonna make it available in my Etsy shop, which right now is empty, so don't bother going there. But it is a Harry Potter pattern, and I put it up sometime last year. My battery is about to die for real this time, so I'll be right back. Yeah, so sorry about that. Battery completely died. That's how you know it's a long video, if I have a fully charged battery and it dies. Granted, I have a slightly older camcorder, so the battery doesn't last forever or anything, especially when I'm shooting in high definition, as I'm doing right now. But so yeah, I'm gonna show you a sneak peek of what it looks like right now. Some of it is covered up, but like it's literally, I don't want to take it out because it's right where it needs to be. This is my pattern. It's a font only pattern. It's the title of the 7 books, not the full thing, Harry Potter, and it's just gonna say Stone, Chamber, Prisoner, Goblet, Order, Prince, and Hallows. And if you haven't seen it already or can't figure it out because maybe you don't know. So I guess in that case it doesn't mean much to you, but the colors kind of match the color that the words Harry Potter are in the title of the original US editions. So yeah, so it's like a gold, a silver, green, orange, blue, purple, and red. So yeah, so each one. So right now I'm on Prisoner. Obviously I can't show you the pattern because it's literally a doodle on graph paper, but I am so anxious and excited to put this up on Etsy. I'd love to have an Etsy store with some designs and maybe some needle minders. I don't want to start a huge business. Like, I would love to design and keep that going, but the needle minders is just for fun. I personally don't use a lot of needle minders. I think they're cool, but I just don't buy a ton. That's just me. But I have ideas for needle minders when I see like little bindings and buttons and findings and jewelry at the store. So I might throw those on there just for fun. It would be something that if I found 2 buttons, like that's it. I won't like mass produce anything. Unless somebody really, really likes something, I'll try to find it again. But like, I don't have the goal to be a huge needle minder business. I like making them, they're fun. I'm not gonna use all those needle minders, so maybe I can just make a little money to keep funding my hobby. But the patterns I'd love to do just because it's fun. I just have to figure out how. The font was relatively easy. I had to Google a lot and be inspired by a lot of fonts. Just like on like free fonts or Google fonts, or look, at Word and get an idea for fonts. But all the, now I didn't design any full fonts, but I was inspired by things that I saw to create these particular letters. So I couldn't make you like a full font of this. I mean, maybe I could, but I found stuff, so it might look similar to fonts you've seen, but it's different enough that it's like my font, because especially if I want to sell the pattern, like it can't be somebody else's font, even if like I paid for it or stuff. So it's modified so that like the idea came from somewhere. It might not even be like a cross stitch font, just like a font on Word. And I modified it to like be its own, but only the word that I needed to stitch. So I look forward to having that done and hopefully sharing that at one point. Yeah, I put that up maybe like a year ago and people were like, oh my God, like I would love to have that, which is what got me thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I created this pattern, like, cause I wanted to do this and I've seen this idea, but all in the same font, which kind of didn't appeal to me. Like, I would like all the fonts to be different for each title. I'm gonna make it. And then somebody commented and said like, oh my gosh, like I would love to have that, or I would actually pay money for that pattern. I'm like, what? Okay, yeah. So that kind of stayed with me, and when I actually finished it and finished that, I would put it up for maybe a few dollars and maybe fund some other purchasing. So I'll let you guys know when that happens, hopefully soon. Even if that's the only thing on my shop, whatever, it's for fun and maybe to make a little extra cash. So I'm really, really excited with how it's coming out. In fact, I can show you what the top looked like. Here it is. So that's what Stone and Chamber look like, which you can mostly see here, just not this top of Stone and the start of Prisoner. So yeah, so before I go ahead, because I kind of jumped right into this talk about the signing, let me quickly do that slideshow of the mermaids and what they're going to look like when done. So obviously I know I talked about this, but just pretend this came after. Let me show you that right now. Okay, so other than my mermaids, I did work on a couple things. I worked on my Harry Potter, which I just showed. I also worked for 2 days. I worked on, one day. I worked on my Story Keep Heaven and Earth Designs. It is Story Keep Rhapsody. It is retired because it's by Nini Thomas, and she now, by the way, if you like Nini Thomas art and you were really bummed out, she actually has cross-stitch patterns on her site. That's obviously why she asked Heaven and Earth to like retire them. The only thing is that they are, you know, they're you can't have a quick stitch or a story keep. It's just the size of the pattern. But yeah, I was really excited to find that. Have no idea when I'll get one, but at least I know that I can now. So this is what the Story Keep Rhapsody looks like. Now this is not what her Rhapsody painting looks like. It's actually her and like the sky and stuff, but this was made for that. So I'm currently at the top. You can see it's very dark. It goes from black to brown to like a brown gold to like a lighter brown gold to a yellow. So obviously a lot of background. So I worked on the black for a day. I'm really bummed out because I got these like patches on there. It kind of looks like coffee or something, but this was just literally sitting on a shelf, like away, completely away. Like I haven't touched it. I don't put any drinks like in the middle of my shelf. I have no idea how that got there. Thankfully, this is solidly stitched and it's within the piece, so it'll be fine. But yeah, so this is, I believe this is heart anchor, so 22 count. And I stitched all of this part of the black here. I didn't stitch the butterfly because I figured I'll go all the way down. This is as far as the black does go, so I'm gonna stitch it all the way till the end and then go. There's only 2 butterflies in this section. Then I'll do like the brown and put the butterflies in that section, and then the next band of color and such. So yeah, worked on that for a couple days. Very brief stitching there. I also worked on, sorry, reorganizing stuff. My next Mill Hill Santa, which by the way, the new Santas are adorable. I already ordered them at my LNS. They are the Caribbean Santas, and I'm so excited. There are now officially 54 Santas in the line. I'm hoping to get 12 done this year. I like to get 12 done every year. Yeah. So anyway, this is the one I'm working on now. This is Tahiti Santa. I mentioned I was going to get work within 2 series and jump back and forth. But at least for this year, because I'm already so far behind, because I made this decision later in the year, of course, that I wanted to get 12 done, which would equate to 1 a month. It's June and I only have 2 done. No, 3 done. So I'm still behind. That's still 3 months behind. I might do 1 from each series. Like I want the series I want to get done this year, so that would be 4 series, because 12 months, 3 in each series, that would be 4 series. 4 times 3 is 12. Anyway, so the Celebration Santas, the Celtic Santas, the Tropical Santas, and the Renaissance Santas. So that's the 4 series. The new Santas, the Caribbean Santas, I really would like to get at least 1 of those done. I know that would bring my total up to 13, but I actually finished 1 of the Santas last year, so technically that's only 2 Santas done this year, not 3. So I wouldn't mind if by some miracle I finish all 12 and actually stick to what I said I was gonna do. Then hopefully I'll have 13 Santas done by the end of the year. If I could finish 15, like get the Caribbean Santas done, that would be great. So we'll see. But I currently have 1 Celtic Santa done, 1 Celebration Santa done, and oh my gosh, I only have 2 done. This is the 3rd one. Oh, I'm further behind than I thought. Okay. But this one's looking pretty good. So anyway, yeah. So I might do 1 from each, like after this one, instead of going back to Celebration Santas, I might do a Renaissance Santa, and I already lost track of what I said. Tropical Santas. Oh no, yeah. I have 1 Celebration Santa done, 1 Celtic Santa done. So I would do one tropical, which is this one Renaissance, and maybe one Caribbean, and then I'll go back and finish. And I don't know if I'll like just jump back and forth, like I'll do Celebration, Celtic, Tropical, Renaissance, then the next one in Celebration, the next one in Celtic, the next one in Tropical, the next one in Renaissance. Or if after I finish one from each, like I'll just finish the 2 Celebration and be done with that series. Who knows? Anyway, let me show you where I am now. This is where Tahiti Santa is right now. So he's pretty much done himself except for his hair and lei. But he is holding a little fish, and I have to finish the water and sand around him, and of course beat him. But I think he'll go fairly quick because since he's tropical Santa, like his outfit was, you know, small. It didn't have all the things that the other ones do, like some of them are wearing capes or cloaks or whatever. This one is just beachwear, and he's holding a fish. So yeah. So after this one is done, I will definitely do a Renaissance Santa. And then I'll decide if I'm going to just skip around from each one or if I'm just going to finish the series out. But I worked on him here and there throughout the month, at the end of May and also a little bit in June. The last piece that I worked on is something a little bit different. So let me just take a water break because my throat is getting dry, and I'll be right back. So the piece that I'm working on next is called Reality Check. This is by Summer House Stitch Works, and this is a little different. So my LNS is having a challenge. They have a challenge each year. I didn't really know about it because I really started going with more frequency this year, especially to Stitchy Night, and that's how I heard about it because they talked about it to the stitchers there. I think I'd gone once last year at some point, or maybe even in 2015 at one point, and then I just hadn't gone for a while. And then I decided to go, and then I found out about Stitching Night, and I came and all that good stuff. And now I love it, and I go there all the time. But yeah, so usually the challenge involves taking a pattern and swapping out the fabric and flosses that are called for. But this year she took it a step further. You have to take the pattern, which is a sampler, and you have to swap out all the motifs and put in motifs that represent you at the time. So in 2017, or things that have been big in your life. So you want to leave the alphabet and the numbers, and you also want to have a border. She said we could change the style of the border, which I've decided to do, but she does want like the border to stay, so they kind of look uniform but not. Like you're like, wait, oh wait, that's the same pattern. No, it's not. It's not just different colors, it's different motifs. So this is what the pattern looks like. So you can see the letters and the numbers there, but all those motifs are going to be completely swapped out, and you still have to swap out the fabric and floss. So for the motifs, you could either use pattern books, or like if you have a different pattern that has like a little flower you want to use, you can use that instead. So my challenge, I have started this. She said the challenge is going to be, I guess, due in November, and I don't know if it's like a contest, or because there is a contest each year, but I don't know if it's just a display thing. But this is where I am so far with mine. So my fabric is going to be a 32 count Opal Lugana in Meditation by Picture This Plus. Oh my gosh, I love this fabric, you guys. If I could be a fabric, this would be the fabric I would choose. It's gorgeous. I want to buy like a yard of it. It costs an arm and a leg, but I want it so bad. I'm definitely going to stitch something else on this, probably a mermaid or a fairy, but I want another piece of these to stitch on. So this is what it looks like. Oh, of course the light is not good, but it is basically like a white and light purple with glittery, and that's the first thing that represents me. I love purple, it's my favorite color. I love glittery things because glittery things. Yeah. So I'm stitching the alphabet, the numbers, and the border in Mauve silk. Originally I had this crazy idea of doing the whole thing in Mauve silk, but Mauve silk can be a little bit challenging to work with, similar to the DMC satins. It's not like 100% silk, I don't think. It's similar to the DMC satins, but it's definitely shiny and very beautiful, and not too troublesome, but a little bit more troublesome than cotton floss, let's be honest. So yeah. So this is my alphabet so far. It's in Mosaic capital. The bottom border, there's 3 separate borders. One's gonna be pink, purple, and blue. Purple and blue are my favorites. Pink isn't really a favorite color, but it worked well with the other 2 colors. I liked it. Originally I was gonna make it aqua, which I really love, but it's essentially a variation of blue. So I decided to go with something a little bit different. So yeah, so that is Erin Go Bron? Oh my gosh, I don't remember. Let me look. Oh no, I covered the name. You can see it's covered up, but I know it's Erin Go, and I see the GH there, so I guess Erin Go Brow? I don't know. I'll put the name up here. I think it might still be available. The only thing that's a little bit about Mosaic is that some colors, like once she sells out, she doesn't have them for a while. She does re-dye every so often, but it's not like all the time. But I think it's a more recent one, so you probably will be able to find it. And the numbers, I was originally going to do my letters but in this silk, but I thought it would be like too different, the color, because it's so bold. But do you see those colors? Do you see what that is? Yellow, blue, red, and green. Do you know what those colors are? You gotta know what those colors are. 4 colors. Come on. It's a book series. Okay, so it is the main colors of the 4 Hogwarts houses. Blue for Ravenclaw. I'm a Ravenclaw. Red for Gryffindor. Gryffindor. Green for Slytherin, and yellow for Hufflepuff. Obviously they do have their partner colors, so Slytherin is really silver and green, Gryffindor is gold and red, Hufflepuff is black and yellow, and Ravenclaw is bronze and blue. Yes, I know the movies did silver and blue, but the real original source material color is bronze. Just putting that out there. I didn't really realize that originally. I just I got my original skein. That's Caesar, by the way, from the Hunger Games series by Mosaic. But it's Harry Potter. I had to do it, especially because my motif that's going to go right above here is going to be Harry's glasses. So it's perfect. I love it. I ordered 6 skeins. I didn't originally know why I loved it so much until it hit me. I was like, oh my god, it's Harry Potter colors! It's Harry Potter colors! Ah! Yeah, that's how passionate I get about Harry Potter. So anyway, if Mo ever makes a hank of it, right now I think she's only done hanks of cotton, but I would be all over that. All over it. That's gotta be why I like it so much, because it's clearly Harry Potter colors. So yeah, so that's where I am. My motifs right now, I can't show you because even though it's written all over, it's you can still kind of see the pattern. So that's kind of, still may be able to see some of that. But I have Harry Potter glasses. I had to chart some of these myself, but some of them I got, from motif books and stuff. So I'll show the motif books I used. But a lot of it I had to chart myself as well. I'm going to have a mermaid on there, of course. I'm going to have the quadratic formula on there because my first love, subject-wise, and what I originally wanted to teach, even though I'm more open to teaching science now and I do really enjoy it, is math. And one of the first tutoring jobs I had was algebra. A few tutoring jobs were algebra. The first math class I ever taught was algebra. So quadratic formula made it on there. It represents, I was trying to think what's something iconic. If you're a math person, quadratic formula, you know the quadratic formula. And even if you don't know what it is, it's clearly recognizable as math. I have some makeup on there because I love my makeup. I have a tube of mascara, I have a lipstick, I have a nail polish, and some eyeshadow and an eyeliner. And they're all little, so they're kind of like one big motif, but not really. I'm going to have a little campfire scene, which I can show you. It's actually on the cover of one of the books I used. It's that. But I'm actually going to end up stitching it over one because of the size, like I couldn't fit it in. And I have one other motif I'm stitching over one, so it won't look completely random to have that over one. So, you know, it'll be fine. It'll work out. I'm gonna have a Phantom of the Opera logo because duh. That one again, I'm gonna have to stitch over one. I bought it on Etsy and it's small, but not small enough. I mean, I could put it on here, but it'd just take up way too much room. I have a crochet hook and some yarn. I have some stork scissors. I was so excited when I found a stork scissor motif. I have some skeins of floss. I have the YouTube logo. I have a skein of Kreinik with some Kreinik coming off the spool, a spool of Kreinik and a little needle at the end. I have a TARDIS. I have two doggies, one for Sammy, one for Ellie. I have a running shoe. I have a crescent moon one from Sailor Moon because I talked about my Sailor Moon love. And I have a Game Boy. There's a couple open spaces still. Oh, and there was a strand of kind of like buds and flowers. And some of it got cut off because it got replaced by the quadratic formula. But the rest I turned into a string of Christmas lights because I love decorating, as you can see. But my favorite is Christmas and Halloween, but especially Christmas. Halloween I've gotten more into as I've gotten more stuff, but Christmas I have the most of, and I love decorating for Christmas. So I put that in there. I do have a couple, again, as I said, open spaces, but I don't know yet if I'm gonna put something on there. It looks kind of open in like my sketch, but I kind of want to stitch everything up and see how really open it looks, because it might actually look okay. If I think it does look a little too like crazy, then I might put something else. So one idea I had, because one of the big spots is actually like going to be like right here, if it like maybe just put a hanging charm with like a sapphire, not a real sapphire, but you know, like a sapphire to represent September, which is my birthday. So I might do that, and that'll take care of that. And then there's another open space that's gonna be over here. I don't think it's gonna look too bad, like too like, whoa, that's kind of just like blank. But if it does, I'll find something to put in there. Maybe I'll put something Halloween-y, who knows. But yeah, I'm really excited. So each sampler is going to be completely different, and it's gonna represent the person. And I'm so looking forward to working on this some more and getting it done. But yeah, so that does wrap up my stitching. I'm going to very briefly show you some of the books I used. Some of them I kind of had to use on my own, like the mermaid I kind of got from my Clouds Factory Magical Creatures calendar. I did modify that. I modified it on the original anyway, but since I've already technically stitched that once, I'm going to pick different colors that work better with my fabric anyway. The TARDIS I also got. I have the Don't Blink Clouds Factory pattern, but I had to modify the TARDIS so it's a little bit smaller so it fit in the space. Some of them I had to design myself, like the makeup one. I did have some of the makeup stuff in one of the books, but I didn't like exactly how it looked, so I modified it, but I got the idea from the book, and then some of the others are just from the books. So a couple of the books I used: 50 Quick Cross Stitch Quickies, Flowers and Fun. I really like the hibiscus, but it's too big, I couldn't stitch it in, but I am stitching the campfire from this, and this is what that looks like. It's a leisure arts book. I got one of my borders from the Cross Stitchers Bible. It's not exactly how it's on here, but I did modify it from something I saw on here. I got my yarn and my skeins of floss from the Better Homes and Gardens 2001 cross stitch designs, the essential reference book. I got one of my other borders and the crochet hook and yarn and the skeins of floss from here. So that's what that looks like. And the last few, I got my stork scissors, my doggies, my running shoe, and the idea for some of the makeup bits, but I modified it. I also modified some of the doggies as well to look more like my own, from Mega Mini Cross Stitch by Makoto Ozu. 900 super awesome cross stitch motifs. Now, this is interesting because Makoto is actually a guy. Makoto Ozu began a career as an independent cross-stitch designer after graduating from university and working in a craft shop. He has revolutionized the cross-stitch world with his fresh designs, making cross-stitch more accessible to young women and men. He lives in Tokyo, where he runs his design company, Ozu Inc., and he teaches cross-stitch workshops all over Japan. Wouldn't it be great to meet him? I was surprised it was a guy because I know Makoto to be a female name, but I guess just like in many languages, there are names that work for both, you know, both, like Lee, you know, I don't know. What's the other popular name? It's an actress that, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. Blaine. That's not her, but that's another one. I know Blaine. You know why I know that one? Because before we kind of solidified that Blaine is a boy, Blaze is a boy in Harry Potter. People thought Blaze Zabini was a girl, but he's actually a boy. Anyway, there are multiple, I can't think of her name. I don't know. If I think of it, I'll throw it on the screen somewhere. I'll probably look for it. I think, okay, no, you know what? This is bugging me. I think it's with a B, but I don't know. Blake. It is B. Blake Lively. Blake. That's a girl or a guy name. And there are others. Anyway, why do I think Makoto was a female name? Because in Sailor Moon, yes, that's my third Sailor Moon reference, Sailor Jupiter's name is, again, if you read the manga, watch the Viz dub or the original Japanese word, audio, her name is Makoto. They call her Mako-chan. In case you're trying to connect it, Sailor Jupiter or Lita in the Deke dub. So yeah. Oh, by the way, one of the reasons that Sailor Moon is being redubbed is one, because people were very annoyed that a lot of scenes were cut because, audiences in Japan are exposed to different things than here. Like, it's completely uncut, nothing has changed, a lot of dialogue was changed. Like, they had to chop up the episode so much, they actually came up with a segment at the end of some of these episodes to make up for the time, so that, like, the time slot for the air, to air would be taken up. Yeah. The names, I guess they changed because they thought it would be easier for kids to understand. The final season was never dubbed in English. There is so much excitement for Viz to get to Sailor Stars. It's a little bit different than from the manga. Both the 4th and 5th season are, because was the 3rd season? No, I think it was just the 4th and 5th season that aren't the same as the manga. Like, the story goes in a completely different direction. I think the 5th season kind of brings it back a little bit, but still, so that's one of the reasons we're so excited for Crystal, is because they're going to tell the story as it was written by Naoko Takeuchi. The manga just went, the anime just went. Interesting storyline, but by the way, for those of you in the US who absolutely hate Chibiusa, or if you remember her dub name, Rini, pink hair girl, yes, she was such a brat and so annoying in the 90s. You will love her in the manga or in Crystal. Like, she's got that, like, little bit of, like, oh, annoying little girl, but, like, she grows up a lot and she's so much better. So you really have to give it a chance if you were like, I don't want to watch that because I really hated Rini. Chibiusa. Anyway, yeah, I'm digressing again on my Sailor Moon Rex. I love my Sailor Moon. But yeah, it's just, she's so much better. Even Usagi or Serena is really annoying in the 90s, and that's just in Japanese, in the Japanese audio, in the English audio, probably in any language. They just wrote her that way. They wrote both of them that way. And the most annoying part was that Usagi would like, so Sailor Moon, I'll just call her Sailor Moon, but you know, her civilian is Usagi or Serena. Like, she's just such a brat and so annoying, and she's hard to relate to because you get it, but then it keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening. And at the end of the season with the giant climax, she like grows up, but then she like reverts back. Like in the original storyline in the manga and now in Crystal, you really see her have that growth and still be silly and still be a teenager and still be a klutz. But you can see her character growth. In the classic anime, it's like after the season ended, she completely forgot all her growth and reverted back to just being Usagi. And like also, sometimes like as Sailor Moon, she's like so mature and strong, and then as Usagi, she's just so annoying in the classic. And it just, you would see that crossover, and I don't know, you guys. It just, you can see how maturing as Sailor Moon has helped her mature as Usagi in the original storyline in the manga, which is the original source material anyway, and the new Crystal, which is based off of that. And even though you see her revert to these silly little things, because that's part of who she is, you see her growth. And I could go on about this for much longer, guys. I really could. Like, it's not just a silly storyline, and it frustrates me sometimes that the classic made it into that and created some storylines that were just like, why did you do that? Like, that was not written in the original source material. Why? Like the whole making Mamoru a college student, like why amp up the creep factor when it wasn't even there? But anyway, why was I talking about this? Because Makoto is apparently a name that could work for both genders, because Sailor Jupiter is Makoto, and I guess this man, this designer, is also Makoto. So it made me happy to see that. I don't know. Because, like, I don't know. Is Usagi really a name that they use in Japan? Like, do they really call their children Usagi? I don't know. I don't see that. But apparently Makoto is. So, yeah. Alright, without further ado, I will wrap up this video. And, I thank you so much for watching and keeping up with my crazy self, because I know I'm crazy, but I love it. I look forward to sharing with you and hopefully coming back a little bit more. I might not necessarily be coming with updates every time, but I have some videos that were requested, a comparison video. I have one video that's coming right after this one that's a really special one, so stay tuned. I have some crochet videos that were requested, and I'm finally getting ready to shoot those, record those. And of course, I'll do my vlogs and my updates. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting. You guys are amazing. You really are. Like with my vlogs, the fact that people have listened to me ramble for over an hour is so cool. You guys are the best. And now that there's like 1,001 Flosstubers, really there's a ton, I don't know how many. I really appreciate that you take the time to watch me and keep up with my crazy antics and all that good stuff. Yeah. I just realized something. I mentioned in my last face-to-face video that I was giving away my Santas, my Mill Hill Santas, the pattern with the perforated paper and my leftover threads, not the leftover beads, unless it really looked like there's enough beads to complete the project, which I have yet to get one of those. Like maybe one of the colors was like pretty decent, but then the others weren't. For right now, I'm doing just no beads just because so far I haven't had one where enough beads are left out. Usually the bigger ones, the like full coverage square ones, you'll have plenty of beads left over, but the Santa is not so much. I think, I don't know. But I don't have that pattern on me right now. So what I'll do is when I finish my Tahiti Santa, I will do a giveaway for those two. That's not going to be this video. But I'll let you know when that comes up. Maybe, hopefully by the next couple weeks, I want to knock them out. And then I'll just do two drawings for those two patterns. I did ask you guys to vote. Would you rather me do a like pass the stash for each individual pattern, or like if I complete all three in a pattern, give away the whole series? And the votes I got were for each individual pattern, because that way some people would be exposed to something that maybe they haven't tried. And then if they don't like it, oh well, and if they do, they can go and purchase the other ones themselves. Also, not everybody's a crazy person like me who wants to do all 54 and just wants to do one that draws their attention. So that'll be upcoming soon. All right, guys, thank you so much again. I'm really wrapping it up now. I will see you later. I hope you're having a wonderful stitchy day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, quick bit I forgot. Sorry for the change in quality. I'm just quickly shooting this on my phone, holding it with my hand, as you can tell. I forgot something. Seriously, because it happened like after I started like preparing for the video and getting everything ready in my head, and I can't believe I forgot to sell this. But you know when you say, I am never gonna do this, or I always do that? There is a reason using absolutes is not a good idea. There is a reason teachers tell you if you see an absolute like never or always as a test answer, don't choose it. Because there usually is no always or never. I mean, obviously there's going to be exceptions for really obvious stuff, like purple is always purple. But you know what I'm trying to say. I had said that huge full coverage projects overwhelm me. I have seen some beautiful large Heaven and Earths, Mystic Stitch, Tilton Crafts, and I mentioned this earlier in the video, and I can't believe it didn't jar my memory to think of this, but Nene Thomas, she also has some really large cross-stitch projects on her site. I haven't looked at the sizes, but I'm expecting they're going to be really big, so it's a commitment. And I said, minis, I'm cool with. Story keeps, I'm cool with. Quick stitches, I'm cool with. They're big, but they're not huge. You know, there'll be like 9 pages or 12 pages, not like 53, 82, 107. I'm like, oh no, me, nope, never gonna do it. Never gonna do it. Well, never say never. I guess Friday, but I didn't see it till Saturday morning. Heaven and Earth released a thing by Ed Beard Jr., like a print. Ed Beard Jr. is kind of like a fantasy artist. Wizards and dragons are his main thing. This piece, I mean, I couldn't believe it. When I first saw that he was a hate artist, I was like, awesome. But I looked, and honestly, the pieces that were on there weren't some of our favorites. Ours being me, my husband and I. In fact, one of our friends, as a wedding gift, gave us one of his prints. This print. One second, I think there's walking. Okay, I'm back. He didn't realize I was recording in here. This print, my husband and I fell in love with, when we went to the Florida Renaissance Festival for the first time, like just the two of us. We'd gone a couple times, like with other people, and it was when we were dating, not engaged, not married, just dating. So minimum 9 years ago, maybe more. And it's called Old Friends at Play. Gorgeous. And we never did buy the print because it was expensive. At the time we were both kids, really. We didn't have money to be buying any artist prints, original artist prints or anything. But yeah, they released this piece and I was like, never, slash, big red slash through that never, because I bought it. I bought it. I don't know when I'm gonna start it. I know I want to get Easy Count fabric, which is the by Swagart, the 10 by 10 gridded. I want to get a kit for it from Jesse's Storyteller collection. It is an investment. It's totally worth it, but it's an investment and I need to prep for it and I don't know when I'm going to do that. I'm also waiting for my quantum frame. I can't wait. It should be here. It's shipped about 8 days ago, so I'm hoping in the next week and a half. So that'll be great. I got the 80 centimeter bars. I didn't get the 90 and I'm like, should I have just gone for the 90? But okay, my hand's getting tired. Hold on. Okay, that doesn't work. There we go. Window. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Depending on how I feel with the quantum frames, I could always make a second order and get different size top and bottom bars. But anyway, yeah. So I got the full size Hade. It's 80 pages. 80 pages. 80 pages. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I mean, you guys are amazing that you do, like, I know Jesse, you do a lot. Pam, you do a lot. Teresa does a lot. And a lot of people do a lot of full size or large heaven and earth type pieces or Tilton Crafts or Mystic Stitch or any of that. But I love it. It means so much to me and my husband. We wanted this print and we just never bought it. And I guess now we could go and look, see if it's still available. I know for certain prints he only has so many. I just, yeah. I want to stitch this so bad. So bad. It will take me who knows how long, but I'm gonna do it, dang it. I was thinking to starting it in July, but I have to see if realistically I'll be able to purchase the fabric and, you know, the kit floss for it. You know, I don't know, maybe I'll ask for it for a gift for something. Be like, hey, honey, since this is going to be such a special thing for us, I don't know. Yeah, but I would love to start that. I guess at the latest by like September, October. That gives me a couple months to really get ready to purchase all the materials that I need. I was thinking July because I'm like, I want to start it. Maybe I'll start it. Maybe I can, you know, because I don't need all 89 colors on the first page, I'm sure, especially because the top bits looks like it's going to be a lot of brown. So maybe I can just start it once I get the quantum frame and then worry about the kit later on. So I should be able to start it. Yeah, maybe I will start it in July. The one page with, we'll see. I haven't actually looked at the page to see how many symbols, but I'm like, it looks like, I think it's doable. I can at least get it started. Yeah, so I'm gonna insert a picture of that because you're probably wondering what the heck does the piece look like. I'm going to insert that right here. Isn't that beautiful? I can't wait. Anyway, I'm really gonna go now. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.